Yeah, I know I haven't done a video in a while. I've been holding off on acquiring new equipment because I have, you know, enough to keep me company for a few more years. But this is a Toshiba Satellite 4030 CDT. I got this from my uncle who works in a school district, and this just happened to be in the scrap pile to be taken to the dump. He actually gave me this one and a Hewlett-Packard Omnibook, which I might actually fix up and give back to him. But this one, I don't know, there was something about this machine that I wasn't going to do anything with it, because it's another late 90s PC notebook, Windows machine. Didn't have any ooh-ah features. I mean, it really isn't this really isn't a high-end machine for that era. And the Intel Celeron 300 processor immediately put me off. So my plan was to possibly sell it for parts, or I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I didn't have a power supply, so I had no idea if it worked. But I figured, what the hell? You went through that much effort, might as well do something with it. I did manage to find a power supply for it. I found one at work from a notebook that we no longer have. It was an old Windows 98 machine that wouldn't even run Windows 2000. So I saved the power supply for it for a rainy day project, and well, it turns out it was raining the day I got this, so there we go. A little bit about this machine. This is a very low-end Toshiba. It has no brightness controls. It's a Celeron 300. It's shipped with, I believe, 32 megabytes of memory, possibly 64. It really didn't have much going for it. A standard CD-ROM drive, which is impressive. I estimate this to be built in 1998, 2000 at the latest. It does have a 1.44 meg floppy. Let's do a quick walk around here. We've got two PC card slots. In here I have an X-Jack Ethernet card, which came with it, and I have my 802.11b Farallon wireless. This one has a modem, which is an option for this machine. I'm surprised it even has one. You notice this type of jack. This is very common in the mid to late 90s. Many companies were using these. It's a flip-out jack, and the cable simply plugs right into it. I'll show you how the X-Jack works. It's very similar. Pull this out. This is my Skyline 11 megabit card. I got this brand new in the box. It was about 9 years old when I got it. So I'm going to show you how this. Some of you may have never seen these. The X-Jack technology was, I believe, it was either 3Com or one of the variants. Anyway, it pops out like that, and this is an Ethernet cable. It simply plugs in just like so. These were very popular. Believe it or not, when these came out, they were one of the most popular cards you could find, if I recall. I know I liked them. They were convenient. There was no dongle involved. And unlike the Zircon full-height cards, which would take you could plug a cable right into them, they took up the entire bay, so you couldn't fit anything else. So I'll show you this card here. This is the most exciting feature of the whole notebook. It's a 3Com megahertz 10100 X-Jack. And I've got an X-Jack modem somewhere around here, but it looks the same way, so I'm not going to show it to you. Alright, let me put our card back in there. Put all our cards in one slot. Yeah. I'm going to show you a couple of unique features that I've only found on this laptop that I haven't seen on any other notebook since. Number one, if you look on this side here, just below the power switch, you'll see two sliding switches. These are locking switches. This one locks out the power button. I can't press it. And this one locks in the PC cards. A little door pops out. Now I can't pull anything out of the slots. That's fairly unique. I don't see that, nor have I ever seen it very often. Moving to the back, we have a parallel port, infrared. We've got a fan, and a VGA out, and a 9-pin serial communications. So for a budget machine, it's fairly well configured. So back to the specs. This originally had, I believe, a 4.5 to 5 gigabyte hard drive. What really surprised me was that someone actually upgraded the drive to a 20 gig drive. I was very impressed. So it's got a 20 gig drive that's only a couple years old. Well, much newer than the machine. True to Toshiba form, this does have a manual volume switch. No digital volume on these machines. That was something Toshiba had been doing for years. We've got headphone and microphone and line in. CD-ROM and one USB port. That's USB 1.0, and we have one PS2 port. Not too bad. Now, one of the reasons I spent all this time on this machine, I've been working on it for about 2 days now. When I put Windows back on, I had to reinstall 2000. I was amazed at how fast it ran for a 300 Celeron. It's almost as fast as my Pentium 2 300 Dell, which, by the way, if you've seen the video, I have it on there. It's a Dell Inspiron 7000. The machine has died. It fell off my desk at work, and it shattered into a million pieces. So to give you an update on that, the machine no longer exists. This will replace that Dell as my kick-around Windows machine that I use for stuff that I can't do anywhere else. Anyway, it has a surprisingly bright and sharp 13-inch display. This is a TFT. It's not a passive matrix, so it wasn't Toshiba's lowest end, because Toshiba had been using passive matrix or STN displays, super twisted pneumatic. They had been using those up until early to mid-2000. I'd say like 2002, 2003, they were still selling them, so that's a good thing to have. If you've never used one, the STN displays have a very ghosty, shadowy picture. They suck. As of right now, we are on wireless. Turn that on to rescan. I think I lost my connection to my router. Okay, if this doesn't work. This card is a little flaky. It's very old, early technology. It was made in 1998 or 9, so it has a tendency to lose its connection frequently, no matter what. I've had it in like half a dozen machines, but anyway. As far as a wireless machine goes, this isn't really a very viable system, because I can't get anything better than 2000 running on it. You kind of lose a lot of, even running, free software like Firefox as a browser, it still kind of sucks. It's very slow. But anyway, so that's it. I mean, really, that's it in a nutshell. I did take this machine apart completely just to inspect it for wear, tear, and damage. And again, one of the reasons I have decided to hang on to it was because it was in perfect condition inside and out. So it's absolutely mint. There's no breakage, no stress cracks, nothing. So for a Toshiba, that's rare, because every Toshiba I've ever owned has had some major damage. They're made out of glass, I think. But anyhow, and it does have the track point, which is an IBM innovation. And that's one of the reasons I've always liked Toshiba Satellites, for the track point and some compacts, because that's my pointer of choice. Once you get used to it, it's like nothing. It's better than using a mouse, even, in my opinion. In touch with tomorrow, and they were not kidding. Well, I'm going to go ahead and upload this video. I hope you've enjoyed.